Okay, another bad hair day that I'm having today, but today is going to be one of those good days because I'm going to talk about how you can actually see whether or not if a keyword is too competitive, if it has way too many famous authors, and if you are able to compete with it, because that is one of the most crucial things that you need to analyze when you're checking out if after you saw that a keyword is profitable, you want to see if you can actually publish a book and rank well on the front page of results. So in this video, let's get started with this. Let's just get started. Hi there, this is Jordan Alexo. Welcome to another video belonging to Jordan Alexo. If you still haven't liked, you should have liked this video because this is going to be a goddamn good video. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can receive my weekly video updates where I share with you plenty of tips related to Kindle publishing and several ways for you to make a shit ton of money online. So let's get started with this video. This is one of those questions that people have been asking me, okay? They have been asking me how they can see if a particular keyword has way too many famous authors inside of that niche publishing books under that keyword, basically. Because one of the things that you want to do when you publish a book is, under a specific keyword, is be able to put that book in the front page of results, specifically on the first 5 results that appears for that keyword. But sometimes that is quite hard for you to do because sometimes what happens, especially when you are beginning, you do a lot of this mistake where you publish a book under a keyword that is just way too much freaking competitive because you just don't realize that most of the books published under that keyword are from famous authors. And this is something that you really need to analyze. If you aren't able to do this, then what happens is you publish a book, you first you waste money getting a book for that specific title. If you go and you get your books done from a ghostwriter team, or if you have a team of ghostwriters writing for you, so you waste money. Then you publish a book, and you struggle to make money with that book because it simply doesn't appear in the front page of results. What I mean about this is when you go to Kindle, and let's say that you search for yoga. I always use yoga as an example, but let's say that you search for yoga. What you want to do if you had a book related to yoga is you publish that book and you are able to put your book immediately appearing on this first few results. Because what happens is when someone is searching for yoga, they are easily able to find your book appearing in these results and they purchase your book. If your book lands on the second or third page of results, normally people simply don't go to those pages and your book doesn't sell well. So you waste money and you don't see any kind of sales. That is something that has happened to me a lot of times. It doesn't happen so much nowadays because the first thing I always analyze when I see a keyword is I ask myself whether or not if that keyword is profitable. Because if a keyword is not profitable, then it's not even worth you analyzing all of the rest, see if it's competitive or not. It's just not worth you doing that because it's just not profitable. So it's a waste of time. But yes, once you see that a keyword is profitable, what you want to see is if you are able to do a book and rank it in the front page of results. One of the major struggles when it comes to ranking your page in the front page of results is when a keyword has just way too many famous authors with books published under that keyword. Now, the question is, how can you see that? How can you see if a keyword is way too competitive? So, the way that you go about this is quite simple. The first thing that you want to see is okay, so let's say that you want to publish a yoga book. I don't recommend for you to do this because I immediately say that this is way too competitive. But the way that you see that if this keyword has too many famous authors is you can click on Kindle Spy if you have it. If you don't have it, I suggest for you to get it, because it is a tool that really speeds up the whole process of you being able to analyze keywords and see if they are profitable, if they are too competitive, and so on. Once again, you have a link right below to all of the tools that I suggest for Kindle, and also the course that I suggest for Kindle nowadays is Self-Publishing Blueprint. This is one of the best courses out there for nonfiction. I got this course, I've already reviewed this course. It is a very, very good course if you want to get into this and not waste your time with books that simply won't do any kind of money. Get the right knowledge, get the right education, invest in this. It's worth it. And once again, if you get anything from me, I will send you a bonus to your email address. You just need to send an email to me, which is jordan@jordanalexo.com. I will leave all of the information right below. I will send a bonus to you. In this bonus, you will get templates for the description of your books. You will get templates for the author page of your books. You will get a lot of stuff so you're able to sell their books well inside of Amazon. Anyway, let's get to this. So the first thing that you want to see is the number of reviews. Okay, normally when it comes to publishers, the average amount of reviews that publishers get is about 40. Sometimes they even get less, depends on the keyword, but it's about 40 to 60, 80 reviews. After that, it starts getting really expensive, and it's not worth you getting more reviews than that. It really depends on the keyword, but normally that is the amount of reviews that publishers get for their books. There's a difference between authors and publishers. I hope you know at this point, but if you don't know, publishers is basically what you are trying to do. You go and search for hot topics inside of Amazon, and you get writers to do that book for you, and you publish inside of Amazon. That is what a publisher does. Now, an author is very different. Normally, authors are people who are just focused on a specific niche. They know a lot about that specific niche. Commonly, they may have a website, YouTube channel, a Facebook fan page related to that niche. So they have a lot of people following them. So when they publish a book, they can easily get customers because they are using all of these platforms to attract customers to their books. That is not your case, and as a publisher, you rely mostly on Amazon traffic to sell your books because you don't have all of the sources outside of Amazon to sell your books. So you can really compete with authors because authors normally will sell their books more than you can probably sell in a whole week. Your book, they can do that sales in a single day, so you can't compete with them. And one of the first things is the number of reviews. I mean, if you go to a particular keyword and you start seeing, so this is the first thing, if you start seeing that the keyword that you are analyzing, you start seeing a huge amount of reviews, such as in this case, even though there are a few books over here that probably aren't from famous authors, such as this one. And this probably is not, I'm not sure, okay? I'm not sure, but I actually would need to go and further analyze this book. But the first thing is really the number of reviews. I mean, if you see that a particular listing has a bunch of books with over 100 reviews, each one of them, then most likely it is from famous authors. And you really don't want, if you see a whole listing of books that have 200 reviews each book, 100 reviews, and so on, then I don't recommend for you to publish a book under that keyword because you will struggle to put your book in the front page of results. What you want to see, this is really important, what you want to see in the front page of results is at least a few books that belong to publishers. Normally, you will be able to see this by the number of reviews, okay? If they have like 40 reviews, 50 reviews, it may be from a publisher. Actually, I would need to further analyze over here a few results, but I honestly wouldn't publish a book over here. I just see way too many famous authors just with the just by looking at these results. The other thing is, the second thing that you want to see if it's normally when it belongs to a famous author, they will have a pricing that is way beyond the $2.99 price mark. You will see pricings for their Kindle books such as this ones, as you can see over here, because normally publishers, when they publish their book, they price them at $2.99, and when you start pricing your Kindle book a bit higher, it can be a bit hard for you to sell your book because, I mean, you're not a famous author, you're a publisher. So when you see a listing with books just priced way above the $2.99, often the case is those books belong to authors. The third thing is the number of pages. Often publishers get books with 80 pages, 100 pages, 120 pages, about that, okay? Because after that, it really gets kind of costly. I mean, getting a book with 200 pages depends on, of course, it depends on where you're publishing your book, but often it gets really pricey. So most publishers get smaller books. If you go to a particular keyword and all of the books over there are way beyond 200 pages, then most likely those books also belong to authors. And the last thing that you can do is simply simply see over here the results to get better idea of okay, this book over here, I'm not certain if this is. One thing that you can also see is by the author name over here. Okay, you can check the author name, and if you see a really strange name, such as this Santata Gamana, which is I mean, it's a ridiculous name. It may not be from an author because, I mean, people commonly don't have this type of names, and you can see. This is also another thing. This is the first thing that you can do to see whether or not if this is from a famous author is simply clicking over here on the author name and seeing over here what you get. You can see that this is most likely from a publisher. There's a good amount of information, and I mean, this publisher, I mean, has gotten away with a really high pricing for his books, so he's doing pretty well considering that this is $40,000 in paid in Kindle store, and he's selling his book at more than $12. He is doing pretty well considering that he only has 5 reviews. This is a very good work from this publisher, and he's doing quite some good amount of money with this book. So this is the other thing that you can do. You simply click on the for example, if you click on this is most likely from a famous author. You can click on this link and see over here more information. Sometimes you will find on the author's page mentions to the website URL from that author YouTube channel, or even videos appearing from their YouTube channel appearing over here, and it immediately gives you a good idea that this book belongs from a famous author, because a publisher doesn't have those kind of sources to basically promote its book. So that is also a good idea. So this is the second step that you take when you're analyzing a book. You first see whether or not if a keyword is profitable. The second thing is you try to see if it's way too competitive. You see if it has too many authors ranking books for that particular keyword or not. Then you start analyzing all of the rest of the information, such as covers, if you can do a better cover, if you can get a book with a different kind of content, even though, I mean, inside of yoga, you can always do a book that has different content compared to your competition, and that is something that you should always do. You simply don't want to publish another book with similar content as other people already published under that keyword, such as, for example, yoga for beginners, and you certainly have other books over here that are yoga for beginners. And I mean, if you publish another book basically with the same content, I mean, it won't sell well. You always want to give a unique twist to your book so they will sell better under that keyword. So that is what you should do. So this is how you can actually see if a keyword has too many authors and if it's hard for you to rank your book in the front page of results. You want to first see the number of reviews. That is the first thing that you want to see. Second thing that you want to see is the length of those books. The third thing that you want to see is if the pricing of those books. And the first thing that you can do is also click on the links from the author over here and see if they have a website, YouTube channel, get more information and so on. But I mean, if you do the first few steps, I mean, typically I just go for the number of reviews, and it pretty much gives me an idea if I can compete for those books. I mean, if I see a listing with books with many reviews, then most likely that those books belong to authors, and I just don't need to go to the rest of the steps. So that is all for this video. Leave a like, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you still haven't done it. If you have any question related to this, make sure to leave it right below. I try to reply to you as soon as possible. That is all for this video. Stay tuned with Jordan Alexo, and bye